Alright, so our thumb slider is starting to come together. We have the HTML and the CSS complete. Now we need to do the JavaScript jQuery to give it that sliding effect. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up our JavaScript file, script.js. Alright, and the first thing we want to do is make sure that the page is loaded, that the document is ready. So we're going to use document.ready. Okay, and when it's ready, we want to run a function. So the first thing I want to do is declare my variables. So we're going to have a variable called total width, and that's going to be set to 0 initially. Basically, the total width is going to be the combined width of all 4 images, or however many images that you want to use. Alright, the next one is going to be positions, which I'm going to set to an empty array, or a new array. This is going to have to do with the animation and the margin. So next thing, we want to loop through the slides using the each loop. Okay, so we want to grab the ID, slides, and then slide. Alright, and then we're going to say dot each. And inside here we want to run a function, and we're going to pass in the function an I variable. And what we want to do in here is traverse through the slides and store their widths in the total widths variable. Okay, so we're going to say positions, and then we want to put in here, we want to put the I, and that's going to be equal to total width. Alright, and then we're going to say total width. We don't need this $ here. Total width, we're going to append, so we're going to do a plus equals, and then we want to say this dot width. Okay, so we're setting the width here. Now we want to test for the width, so still inside of the each loop, we're going to say if not this dot width. Okay, so we're going to make sure that there is a width. You can see in our HTML, for every slide, every image has a width of 900. Alright, so if there's no width set, then we just want to send an alert. Okay, we're going to say, please add a width to your images. Okay, and then we're just going to return false. Alright, so now we're going to break out of that loop, and we want to grab the slides div. Okay, we're going to say slides dot width, and we want to set that to the total width. Alright, so it's just we're making this element, we're going to make the width the size of all the combined widths of each image. Alright, now we want to work on the thumbnail click. Alright, so make sure you're still inside your document ready function, and then we're going to grab the menu item. Okay, so menu ULLIA. Okay, we want to grab the link, and we're going to say dot click. Dot click, and then we're going to run a function here. And for the function, we're going to pass in E and keep scroll. Now when we click a menu item, what we're going to do is remove the active class and add the inactive class. All right, so we want to get li.product, because remember we have the class of product for each of the menu items. Okay. So li product, then we're going to do dot remove class. All right, and the class that we want to remove is active. All right, and then we want to add the class of inactive. So add class. Inactive. Okay, next we want to add the active class to the parent. I should probably be commenting here. Add parent, remove active class, and add inactive. Let's see, up here, what did I do? So up here we want to just say get slider widths, and here we'll say check widths. We'll declare variables, and here we're going to set the width. Alright, so that makes it look a little better. Menu item click handler. Okay, so we want to add the active class to the parent. So the way that we do that is we got to get this, which is the current link, and we want to say dot parent add class. Okay, pretty easy to understand. And we're going to add active. Alright, next we want to have a position variable, and this is going to be set to this dot parent, this parent, and then we want dot prev all. And we want to pass in here the class product. And then finally we're going to get the length. Okay, so that'll give us the length, and we want to do our animation. So here we're going to get the slides div. Slides, and we want to say stop and then animate. Okay, so inside of our animate method, we want to set margin left to the negative positions, and then pass in the POS variable. Whoop. Pass that in, and we want to concatenate px for pixels. So we need to have a plus sign and then px. Alright, and then the second parameter is going to be 450, which is the speed. Okay, so that'll take care of the initial animation. Now we want to prevent the default action of following a link. Alright, we can do that with the event variable that we passed in right here, this E. So we can say E prevent default. Alright, and then finally we're going to say if auto scroll then we want to clear the interval. Alright, and we're going to pass in the variable it VL. And that hasn't been set yet. We'll do that in a minute. And this should be a capital S. Alright, so basically this is just stopping the auto scroll. So let's see what we can do here. Let's see what happens. Okay, reload. Nothing's happening. If we look at the console, we have an unexpected token on line 30. Alright, so this margin left, these are options, so we need to wrap these in curly braces like this. Okay. jQuery is not defined. Oh, we didn't even include jQuery. Alright, so let's do that. And obviously you can download jQuery and put it in your local file structure if you want, but I'm just going to use the CDN. And I just want to add HTTPS here. Okay, so that should fix that. Alright, now there we go. Perfect. Okay, we get auto scroll is not defined, so we're going to have to do that. So we'll go back to script.js, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that the first image is set to active when we load it. Alright, so we want to go right under here, say make first image active. Okay, so the selector we're going to use is going to be menu menu ulli.product and first. Okay, and then we just want to add the class. Okay, easy stuff. We're going to add the class active and set siblings. We want to make sure that we add the inactive class to the siblings. Alright. So now we want to take care of the auto scroll. Okay, so I'm going to set a variable of current and set that to 1. And then create a function, function auto scroll. Okay, and we're going to say if current is equal to 1, then we're going to return false. Alright, and then here we're going to say menu ulli a, and we're going to use the EQ method. So the EQ method will reduce the matches to 1 at the specified index. Alright, so in here we're going to say current, and then we're going to use the modulus or the percent sign, and then jQuery menu ulli dot length. Okay, and then we want to say dot trigger click, and then we just want to pass in true. And then we want to make sure that we increment the current variable by 1. So to do that, we'll say current plus plus. Alright, and then outside of the auto scroll function, we'll do duration for auto scroll. Alright, so variable duration, oh, it should be var, not char. Duration, we'll set it to, let's set it to 10. Alright, and then we need to create that variable, that ITVL variable, the interval, to set interval. Alright, and then inside here we want to pass a function, and the function is just going to call the auto scroll function. And then we just want to pass in our duration. We'll do duration times 1,000, because what we're doing is we're setting it as seconds here. All right, the actual parameter should be milliseconds. That's why we're multiplying duration times 1,000. All right, you could just as easily put 1,000 here, and then just put the duration here without this multiplication. All right, so let's give this a shot. We may have to do some debugging. All right, so the manual sliding works. Let's try the auto slider. So it should change every 10 seconds. I probably should have made it shorter. Alright, so it doesn't look like it's changing on its own. You know what, let's shorten this here to 2. Alright, so something is going on. Oh, you know what? We need this current to be -1. If it's -1, return false. And let me make sure there's no other issues. Length, trigger, click, true. Alright, let's try that. There we go. So it's auto scrolling now every 2 seconds. So you probably want to change that. We'll change it back to 10. So that's it. That is our Apple-like thumb slider. I hope you enjoyed this chapter, and I will see you in the next one.